This is one of those things that you always hear and it seems to make sense and you don't question it. And it turns out that when we actually examine the statistics, well, there's not really any correlation here. What I'm talking about, popular consensus has always been when you see Bitcoin or crypto flowing off exchanges, well, that means watch out, prices are going to fly. It kind of makes a little bit of sense. You think people are investing for the long term, they're trying to put their crypto in cold storage, there will be less on the market for buyers to buy. Like, it just kind of all seems to fit together. But when they really look at things, when they examine the metrics, a lot of times when the price is flying is when coins are coming onto the exchanges. And a lot of times when we have this outflow, well, the price goes down, or at least there's no correlation. We really can't buy too much into that. So let's see what happens this time. There's this big outflow of Bitcoin. Are we going to see this bullish swell in price, or does it mean next to nothing? Only time will tell. We'll keep an eye on it here. Now, this was a big hit for the SEC, even though the court case didn't involve them. We see judge dismisses class action lawsuit against Uniswap over token scam losses. And the judge essentially said this is an issue to take to Congress, not to court, because under the current law, these aren't securities. There's not really anything you can do. This is a decentralized technology. The judge actually stated that and said there's no identifiable party to go after here. So this is the way courts are looking at this space. We saw what happened with Grayscale here recently. We saw, of course, what happened with Ripple. And now we have this lawsuit where, again, it doesn't involve the SEC. But if this is the way the courts are going to look at this space, and the SEC is itching to really go after, some DeFi applications, they're probably going to get a very similar result. And that's the way it should be. You shouldn't have a warlord just dictating policy. You have to make new laws and grant those authorities to someone. And to date, those haven't been given to the SEC. So this was pretty bullish for all cryptocurrencies. Now, back to that Grayscale victory over the SEC. We see that the opinion is this clears the path for a spot Bitcoin ETF. I'll warn you this, they don't have to approve it. They just can't arbitrarily deny it without giving some sort of reasoning, especially since you had the futures product. I've even heard the SEC has threatened, well, we'll just take away the futures product and then we're treating everything equal. I don't think that's the way this will go. What I'll tell you is I think they're more apt to allow it now because if things go wrong, if people take massive damage in their pension funds and their retirements and endowment funds, like they could say, what do you want us to do? We went to court. The court said, hey, we have to allow it. It's on the courts, not us. And for that reason, I believe the SEC is more likely to give up this battle. And it's just time. That's why you see your BlackRocks, your Fidelities, they're all gearing up because they know the demand's there and you can only kick that can down the road so much. That's why, I think we are close. I don't know what happens this year, but I'd be very surprised if it doesn't happen by the end of next year, if probably the beginning of next year. Now, I think this also shows that, this wasn't just big for Grayscale, just like the Ripple court case wasn't just big for Ripple, it's big for the whole crypto ecosystem. We see Coinbase, publicly traded stock, also reacting favorably to this news. And I think on the 5-day, we're up about 7.5%, something like that, on the stock price. And a lot of that is due to the excitement over this Grayscale victory. People seeing that, the SEC can only keep this space down for so long. We have Digital Asset News telling us that it's now predicted with 95% certainty that we will get a Bitcoin ETF next year. He also puts on there, I'll believe it when I see it. And I understand that way of looking at things. We've heard so many times we're going to get this Bitcoin ETF. We're almost there, and then it gets denied, or the can gets kicked down the road, or there's delays. So that's the best way, not, count on this happening before it's guaranteed, before it's actually approved. But we know it is going to happen 100%. It's just in a question of when, and it's very likely to happen here, pretty soon. And right now they're putting it at about a 95% chance. So big deal here. Also, Digital Asset News says crypto's here to stay, but Gary isn't. DCA and Stack Sats, good night. Good to remember this. The current situation that's going on right now, this fighting with government, the lack of clarity, the lack of rules, whatever. That's not going to be here forever. We're going to get to the other side of this, and crypto's potential, that is going to be here for the long run. That building is still going on, and that value will be there. So you kind of have to ignore what disasters going on today with the bright future we have in front of us. We don't know exactly when this space will heat up again, and when it does, you will be glad for your hard work and your diligence, and basically being built for bear so you can steady the ups and downs and make it to that next big run. It will happen. I don't know when. I just know it will come. And I think it'll be sooner than later. 2024, 2025, we should be looking good. Let me know what you think down below. And as always, please like, please subscribe. The revolution will be televised right here on Jungle Link.